in Parashat Noach. We're going to learn from the teachings of Rabbeinu Bechayei. And today's class is going to be short and to the point with something very powerful for us to take practically. So it says in the Parasha, Ze veze asher ta'aseh ota. This is how you should make the ark. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu is sending Noach instructions how you should build the ark. And he says as follows, Tzhiva Hashem la'asota k'shiur hazeh. Kadosh Baruch Hu told them it has to be 300 amma long. It has to be 50 amma wide. It has to be 30 amma tall. And he gives him the instructions how to do it. Now comes a big question here. ולריבוי המינין שיצטרך להביא בתוכה, and with so many species and so many animals that he has to bring into the teva, הייתה קטנה עד מאוד. It's very small, the ark. How are you going to put all of them in there? כי יצטרך להביא שם בהמות, he's going to have to bring a lot of big animals, עופות, many types of birds, טמאים או טהורים, the pure ones and the unpure ones, I mean kosher, not kosher, חיות קטנות, also many small animals, וחיות גדולות, also big animals. You know, there's many types of animals that are very big. And not only that, שניים מכל, 2 of each. And now more than that, he says, ויש חיות גדולות. Some of the animals are massive, like pilim, elephants. And also another animal that we don't have this now in our days, but it's called a re'em. You know what a giant animal that is? You know, there's a story with David HaMelech that one time he leaned on, he thought he's leaning on a rock, and it was a re'em, and he picked him up like a massive size animal. So some of them are big animals like elephants and re'emim, ולפי הטבע, according to nature, 50 תיבות. According to nature, even 50 arks would not be enough. כיוצא בה. היו קטנות מאכיל את המינים האלו. It wouldn't be enough. You know how many arks you're going to need to put all the animals in there? You go now to a safari, it's a few acres. Where are you going to put all these animals? And you have to have food for them, Bram, also by the way. אבל היה העניין נס גדול. It was a miracle, but not just a miracle, a huge miracle. בלי ספק, with no doubt. הוא מחזיק מועט את המרובה. And a little or small in size was able to hold very large size. Where else in the future we see such a miracle? It says in the Mishnah that when the Jews would come up to the Holy Temple in the festivals, they would bow down, lying down on their face, עומדים צפופים משתחווים רווחים, standing close to each other, but able to bow down and spread their hands like that. How are you going to do that in such a small area? There was a miracle. I told you already, Bala Sulam says that how was that miracle possible? Because when you bow down in front of another, not bowing down as an idol, but rather you lowering your ego in front of another person, suddenly there's a lot of space for everybody. When you have too much ego, there's no space for even one person. Okay, now let's stay on our topic and see what he says. ואולי תשאל. Now maybe you'll come up with a question. כיוון שהיה הדבר נס, if you're now telling me that this whole thing was miraculous, that the little ark was a miracle really, and it was able to hold many, many animals, למה יצווה לעשות את התיבה? So if it's a miracle, why are you commanding Noach to do the ark? Just do a miracle. Why with the whole production? And going to Home Depot twice a day, and getting wood, and banging it on his fingers. Can you imagine how many times that Noach banged his fingers? That's my addition, of course. למה יצווה לעשות את התיבה מעץ הידוע? Why are you making a whole ark out of wood? ובמידות ידועות, and with specific detail and length, just tell him, do whatever you want. Now, not only that, Noach got instructions to do it gimel medurim, 3 levels, תחתים שניים ושלישים. The bottom level was where the excrement will go, all the trash. And the second level was the animals, and the third level was for the Noach and his sons and their wives. הקדוש ברוך הוא יכול להצילם מבלי תיבה. It's a big deal, a big problem for the Kadosh Baruch Hu to save them without the ark. If you're just telling me that the ark was miraculous, so just make a miracle and save them. What's the big deal? Yeah. Oh, no, that. You know what he says? V'sheilchu al pnei hamayim. Let them walk on the water. Make it even a more interesting miracle. Or, yachol le'afriach ba'avir. He can make them some air balloon and put them in the air. What's the big problem? What Hashem has, doesn't have enough creativity. Ki kol yuchal ve'lo yivatzer mimenu muma. What's the big problem? Kadosh Baruch Hu is limited in any type of a way. He can make whatever miracle he wants. Now, let's see what he says. He's presenting a question. Let's see the answer. V'atshuva. Ki derech haTorah, the way of the Torah, letzavot et ha'adam sheyaseh kol yecholto b'derech haTeva. The way of the Torah is to command the man to do whatever he can within the means of nature. This is called hishtadlut, an effort. And that's after that, u'ma sheyichsar haTeva bahen yesh limanes. And whatever is missing in the path of nature, that the miracle already add. And this is really very powerful message and a teaching to take from us. You are commanded to do whatever you can according to nature, within your means, to do your effort. Whatever is missing, the Kadosh Baruch Hu will add. V'al derech zeh, and in this same way, you know how many times we found, according to nature, a hishtadlut? How many times, with the wars of Yeshua, how many times he sent an ark? Why can't you make a miracle? Just go like that. Or hire Avraham Avinu to come with his special sand and kill them. Why do you have to now recruit people to the army and train them? And this is one example out of many. How many times we see that there was many situations in the Torah that the people were required to do a hishtadlut, an effort according to nature, and after that the Kadosh Baruch Hu already added what was needed. Why? כי מתוך מעשה הטבע שיטרח בה תמיד כל היום, because of the action of building the teva, that he toiled with it every day, 120 years, כל יום, from morning to night, באורכה וברוחבה, with the going very particular in the length and the width. יראו הבריות, the creations, the people around will see that he's doing a lot of effort, וידברו בזה, maybe they will talk, wait a minute, what is this cuckoo doing? ויחזרו ויתעוררו, לחזור בתשובה. Maybe he's going to be able to wake a person up and do tshuva. מדרכם הרעה, there are 4 sins that they did. Well, we're not going to talk about it right now, but the Rabbeinu Bechayei says they did idolatry, forbidden relations, bloodshed, and mainly that they did is gezel, they did robbery and Hamas and havoc. But according to many of the mefarshim, the sin was zera levatala, they did forbidden relations. That was the major sin of the flood. Zohar is also talking about that. But according now to, let's stay on track, then he says, no, maybe by seeing Noach doing an effort, people will see and do tshuva. V'im lo yeshuvu, and if they don't do tshuva, hinem rashaim. So they're at least, they're defined as rashaim, exactly like you said before we started the class. How much Torah did you listen to and you didn't do tshuva? So you at least, I can easily stamp you as a rasha. Here he calls them ktanei emunah. You don't have any emunah, very little belief. ראוי שתחול עליהם מידת הדין. Now if you are defined, חס ושלום, a person is defined as a קטן אמונה, zero belief, and as a rasha, then right away it's applicable that the midat adin, the judgment, should be pointed at you. Now what do we get from this? So now we have one message out of many. What's interesting here, I just want to say this as a side note, because it's important to know. Kadosh Baruch Hu told Noach, mikol achai, you have to bring from all the animals into the teva. But in Hebrew it doesn't say animals, it says mikol hachai. Chai is anything that is alive. Now you know what our sages have said? Something very interesting. Lerabot hashedim. Kadosh Baruch Hu also told Noach to enter into the teva demons, shedim. This, by the way, you can find it in Rashi says that. וציווהו יתברך שיכניסם אל התיבה. הקדוש ברוך הוא ordered them to, everybody goes in the teva, even the demons. וייתכן לפרש כי אי אפשר להם שישארו במקומם? Why can the shedim stay where they are? Where מקומם is the place where they belong. Where? Avir galgalei hayesodot. Underneath the planets that are the root, the essence, and the foundation of the elements. Let them stay there. Why are you putting them in the ark? לפי שהגזרה הייתה לשחט כל בשר. The decree was that any flesh has to be destroyed. Demons don't have flesh. But then what does the Torah says? Asher bo ruach chaim. Anything that has in it a spirit of life. That's including also demons. וזה כולל גם בעלי נפש. That's including also the ones who only have a nefesh. He calls it nefesh tnuah, a spirit that has motion and movement. Sha'al haaretz, that is on the land. Don't forget later, we didn't get that to it. Later on, there was Nephilim, and there were angels that came down here and mated with the women here. Now he added also, והוסיף לומר עוד מתחת השמיים. He added everything that is underneath the firmament. שגזרת המבול הייתה אף על בריות שהן מתחת גלגלי יסודות והם השדים. The decree was on any creature that is under the planets, that's what he says here, מתחת גלגלי היסודות, he calls it גלגלי יסודות, the balls of the foundations. He's talking about the planets, and what are they? The demons, שדים. על כן הוא צריך להכניס אל התשובה. Therefore, you have to put them into the teva. Must be that Hashem has a plan why we need demons. פן ימחו באוויר. חס ושלום, they're not going to be destroyed in the air. אשר מתחת השמיים, that are under the firmament. ובזה שאמר תביא לתיבה, when he told Noach, you should bring them into the ark, שהוא יביאם ממש. That Noach should actually bring them into the ark. שהרי כתוב אחרי שיבוא אליך להחיות באר, כי מעצמם יבואו. The Kadosh Baruch Hu says, you just prepare it, that they will come by default. And that's really what happened. But Noach was commanded, אשר ישתדל בהם שיחיו. Noach has to go out of his way to make sure that they survive and they stay alive. והנה זה היה בציווי, and this was in a commandment. The Kadosh Baruch Hu commanded Noach to do it. אבל במעשה אחד מצינו שבאו שדים. But practically, when did we actually see that Shedim came into the ark? I mean, now we're talking here the Kadosh Baruch Hu ordered, but does it say that to bring Shedim? Where does it say that? It says very clearly. It says as follows: "Zetoch hateva b'chad shar haminim," all the species. Hu shekatuv. What does it say? It says in the text, "V'chol ha'of lemineu," every fowl after its kind. Kol tzipor, every bird. Kol kanaf, every wing. That's the shedim. That's what the text says. This is not commentary. This is the text saying. I'll read it again. Kol of lemineu, every fowl after its kind. Kol tzipor, every bird. Kol kanaf, every one that has a wing. Saying in other words, this is talking about the demons that have wings. V'kol ha'of lemineu elo ofot moim. All the types of birds, these are the birds that are impure. Kol tzipor, these are the kosher birds. Kol kanaf, elu hashedim, hatasim ba'avir, all the demons that are flying in the air. V'samach lo miyad v'yavo Noach letovah. And right away he says, and they will come to Noach into the ark. So, now that we have the miracle behind it, and we see the order behind it, then what do we take from that? That the Kadosh Baruch Hu says, everything that you do has to have two parts to it. Your hishtadlut, your effort, according to nature, within your means, and the rest the Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to come and add with a miracle. Must be that everything that I do has to have some type of miracle in it. A man wants to do a mitzvah of pruvu, he has to do ishtadlut, find a wife, build a home, be with his wife, and then the Kadosh Baruch Hu comes with a miracle and makes the wife pregnant. And so forth. And many other things. Same thing with your parnasah, same thing with your learning of the Torah, and same thing, by the way, with your yirat shamayim, with your God-fearing. You have to do your part, and the rest is a miracle. But right after that comes the assurance that what is Hashem going to do? What is the verse right after that? This you have to know of by heart. V'hakimoti et briti, and I will fulfill my covenant. So you know, the Kadosh Baruch Hu puts us under a covenant. We have a lot of covenants with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. The Zohar says and many others. We're not going to start quoting now every commentary. Most of the commentary says that the sin of the generation of the flood was zera lebatala, by the way. Not Jafka the Hamas, the robbery and Gezel. Rather the spilling the semen. So this, we have a brit with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Brit, a covenant. We're under covenant with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. But, the same way that we are obligated to fulfill the covenant, also Hashem is obligated to fulfill the covenant. So right after that, the Kadosh Baruch Hu says, "V'hakimoti et briti etach," I will fulfill the covenant with you. Habrit hazot shu matnei imo ata. What is the covenant? Ki hem hayovdu v'hu ya'amod. Everybody will be destroyed and you will not. V'kulam imachu b'mabul. They're all going to be destroyed in the flood. V'hu yinatzel. And he will survive. Noach, of course. Now he goes into another explanation. We're not going to have time to do this right now because it says, "O yirmoz lebrit hakeshet." Oh, that he's hinting to the covenant of the keshet, of the, how do you call it? Bow? Rainbow. The rainbow. We'll talk another time about the rainbow. What's the inyan behind the rainbow? He has a whole ma'amar here about the rainbow with the brit here. But practically saying, we want to take here something very, very simple not so simple to do, but to take from that. After all, the Torah is not a history book, like I told you not once and not twice. The Torah is coming to teach me what do I need to do. So the Torah is telling me you have to do hishtadlut. You have to do an effort according to nature and according to your means. But then comes the miracle, and everything that you do has to have the miracle of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Either that is not going to work, but the Kadosh Baruch Hu is not going to do to you any miracle if you didn't meet halfway. If you meet halfway with your ishtadlut, with your effort, then the Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to kick in, so to say, and activate the miracle. And how does he going to do that? V'hakimoti et briti. I will do my part. So you can't come and complain to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, why? Kadosh Baruch Hu says, listen, you do your part, I'll do my part. So we are under a covenant that Hashem is going to redeem us. It's part of the deal here. But Hashem says, you do your part, I'll do my part. Very simple. So it's not so deep, it's not so Kabbalistically speaking, but it's practical, and we have to take from that the importance of my part. Even though sometimes something looks completely out of the boundaries of nature. We just said that. It doesn't make sense even that 300 amah by 550 amah will fit so many animals. Why even bother? Because it's a miracle. And many times Hashem tells you to do something and you're saying, it can't even happen. It can happen. If you believe it's going to happen, Hashem is going to allow it to happen. The Kadosh Baruch Hu can make miracles that you can't even fathom, that your jaw will fall down, that you can't even digest what the Kadosh Baruch Hu can do. And I can tell you personally that I saw with my own eyes, in my own experience, in my own life, if the Kadosh Baruch Hu can do miracles, then you can say this is only the hand of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Nothing physical can do such a thing. But you are required your effort, you are required your ishtadlut, your part, and of course, what did he say here? How did he call the wicked people? Ktanei emunah. Emunah is belief, katan is small. That they don't have emunah. Interesting, he didn't say en emunah. He says ktanei emunah. A little bit of emunah. So what is required in order to activate the miracle, besides the ishtadlut? Emunah. Just believe. Believe that the Kadosh Baruch Hu can and will do whatever he wants. But I have to do my part. So standing moments before the flood that we are going to see, whether the flood is going to come with actual water or was going to come spiritually or in any other type of a way, then we have to build our teiva. Our teiva is our learning our Torah, is not only learning the Torah, is that my life is a life of Torah. That I pray 3 times a day. That the food that I eat is kosher. That I observe the Shabbat and I observe what the Torah tells me to do. This is my teiva. And when I build a teiva, even though it seems unfathomable that could be done, and even if it seems that that's going to be my protection, yeah. Kadosh Baruch Hu tells you that is going to be your protection, but you have to have another component here. Emunah. Believe in the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Then you'll see miracles. And what does the prophet Micha says? Kemei etzetecha me'eretz Mitzrayim. The same way when you went out of Mitzrayim, Arenu Niflaot, I will show you wonders you're not going to even believe that can exist even. They're going to put Hollywood to shame, what we're about to see very soon. But you have to have your ishtadlut, build your teva, your Jewish, your Torah sanctuary. Your life has to be a life of Torah, and you have to be immersed in it. Like Noach was immersed in the teva, you have to be immersed in the life of Torah. Don't worry, Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to fulfill his brit. V'akimoti et briti. Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't back out of deals. Then he's going to show you miracles that your jaw is going to have to be connected back to its place, because you're going to be so shocked with what Hashem is going to do. Bezrat Hashem, this we're going to see very soon with our own physical eyes.